sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD Phins Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Make sure you punch that like button on your way in the building. We got breaking news. Yes, early this morning, which means this was done last night. They waited for the early hours to go ahead and announce it. But the Miami Dolphins have officially traded Jaylen Phillips to the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, oh man, we're going to break that down and more right here on TD Fans Talk this morning. Listen, we're going to hit that. We got a long day ahead of us. We got a really good slate today. I'm also going to be doing a show this morning, giving you all the latest and everything you need to know Miami Dolphins news. But real quick, punch the like button so that people know that we are live, all right? Punch that like button. Thank y'all for that are punching it. I appreciate it. Let's get into it, okay? All right, the Dolphins trade Jaylen Phillips to the Eagles. Now, first of all, let's start out with the Eagles. Huge move for the Eagles. They get a big win here, in my opinion, okay? Jaylen Phillips is a really good edge rusher. I love Jaylen Phillips' skill set. The problem with Jaylen Phillips, number one, and most important, is his injury history. He really hasn't been able to stay healthy. Now, it is a good look this season that he has been healthy so far, We know that Jaylen Phillips creates a lot of pressure. He gets his hands on the quarterback, but he also has this issue where he just doesn't finish. Like, quarterback slides out of his hand and do different things like that. But Philly's going to love him. Why you think they got him? Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio knew what he had when he was here, and Fangio wants to utilize that. Fangio knows good and well he's going to help the Eagles, especially when they're one of the favorite teams to win the Super Bowl. When they're doing so well and they're headed on this trajectory, the Eagles are getting it done, ladies and gentlemen. The Eagles keep doing this. Let's not forget they went to a Super Bowl and lost years back. And let's not forget they also went, no. Let's back up. They went to a Super Bowl, loaded that roster, Nick Foles won. Then they got back to the Super Bowl a few years later and lost. Now they've gotten back to the Super Bowl again and won. And now here they are making their usual, when they really want to go after it, in-season trades that bolster the roster and make them an even better competitor. That's what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing here, and they're doing a great job doing it. This is a team that has credit. They draft well. They do all of that well, and that's why they are so successful. Now, some people will say, well, if they're doing it right, then what? And they want Phillips, then why would we get rid of Phillips? Listen, because of the state of the team, what you're about to go through. I think it's important. I think a lot of Dolphin fans, they're happy that Chris Grier got fired, but they also aren't realizing what that means for the immediate future of the organization. None of you are really thinking about that. So let me help you out. It simply means we are legitimately about to rebuild. We have a new general manager who's going to be evaluating talent and bringing talent in, and that general manager has to determine if Mike McDaniel is his coach. It's too many unknowns. So why are we going to be hoarding players and holding on to players during seasons of unknown? Scrap the rest of the season. We already know what time it is. Next season, like people are like there are people in their mind, oh, we'll be better next year. No, we'll be worse. Now, that doesn't mean we couldn't win more games than we do this year, but from a roster standpoint, we'll be worse. So that's another season, because here's what I think next season is going to be about. And by the way, I think they may keep McDaniel, and we'll talk about that in the stream later today. But next season is going to be about all evaluation. And what do we mean by evaluation? The new general manager is going to get with the head coach, whether it's McDaniel or another coach. So it's different paths depending on if McDaniel survives the offseason. We have no clue. We don't know. Okay? Weaver could be gone. Everybody could be gone. We have no clue. But we'll have streams and we'll talk about what that looks like if they are here or if they're gone. So we fully understand every angle that the Dolphins can take. So we can also determine what's the best one. And then we can sit back and watch and see if they execute it. That's what this channel is, by the way. We want to evaluate every factor, come up with what we feel is the best course of action. Let's see if they're headed down that path. If they are, great. If they're not, let's sit back and see. Is this a defining moment for the organization that they got right or got wrong? That's what we do, okay? Now, the Eagles, once again, loading up, going on a mission. This is a great move for the Eagles. The Eagles winning this. By the way, if this is just a one-year rental, they still can utilize Jaylen Phillips in the compensatory formula. So if Jaylen Phillips, they say we don't want to keep going with Jaylen Phillips, and they let him become an unrestricted free agent, right then and there, they are eligible for a compensatory pick. Now, some people will say, then why wouldn't we just keep him and possibly get a second possibly get a third or a fourth round compensatory pick? Because you don't know what the compensatory pick is going to be. Do your research. Several of the last couple of compensatory picks that were almost guaranteed third-round picks for us. Almost guaranteed third-round picks for us. Ended up not being third-round picks because the player got hurt on their current team, and those compensatory picks will probably be like 6th or 7th. Because compensatory formula is based off of playing time and everything. And with Jaylen Phillips' history of injuries, you cannot let him stay on this roster and finish the season trying to hope for a third-round compensatory pick with his history of injuries. Now, what we have learned at this point is that the Miami Dolphins are also paying some of the salary. Now, what did I tell y'all a few days ago? Jaylen Phillips, I know we can get a 4th for Phillips. But the Miami Dolphins wanted a better pick than a 4th, and I love this, and it's smart because he was already going to count against the cap this year. Amazing move. No, give us a 3rd, and we'll pay a large portion of the salary. So we made our draft pick better. Now there's not a formula with compensatory or anything. We have officially another third-round pick. And those can be very valuable when you talk about looking for guards, when you talk about looking for linebackers, when you talk about looking for defensive tackles. When you touch certain positions, a third-round pick is like a 1st if you get it right. A 2nd at least at the right position. That's why third-round picks are valuable. I'm telling me personally, I covet all picks up to 4, 5, 6, and 7 wild cards. And that's how you kind of judge a general manager. How do you execute on your 3rd and 4th round picks? Now, you obviously judge them on the 1st and 2nd round too, because some of them get those wrong. But there's a higher probability that you won't get those wrong. But the 3rd and 4th round picks, let me see who your starters are that were 3rd and 4th round picks. That tells me you're a great talent evaluator. You're a great general manager, or your organization, coach, and staff great at developing players. I'm going to have to look that up, look that correlation up, and see if there's a correlation between 3rd and 4th round picks and success of the team for how many 3rd and 4th round picks are actually hits. Guys who end up starting at some point. But for the Miami Dolphins, this is an excellent trade. Let me explain why it's excellent. People need to understand. Once again, the most important thing is the fact that we're about to go through a rebuild, a reset. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, on that rebuild and that reset, you want to acquire as many assets as you possibly can and have a quicker path of getting out of financial troubles. Now, although we're paying a portion of his salary, not the full portion for the remainder of this season. So we might have a few $1 million, 1 or 2. I got to wait for the details to come through, but we might have a few $1 million that now, okay, we got a few $1 million that we saved on that, and we got a 3rd round pick. For a player who has an injury history, I think he has an amazing upside, but we are not in a position to bet on it. Let's make sure that everyone understands this is the key to this trade right here. Jaylen Phillips has enormous upside still. He could end up being one of the best pass rushers in the NFL moving forward. But we are not in a position to bet on that. We are not in a position to bet on that because he is going to be due some money in a extension. He's going to go off to Philly. People are going to get to see who he is. And by the way, Jaylen Phillips should be excited right now. He should be ecstatic. He should be lit right now. Now, the only thing that may have him like, oh man, because you're going from Miami to Philadelphia. Just the environment, the city, to me, Jaylen Phillips is he just seems like a Miami guy. But from a career standpoint, from an acknowledgement of skill standpoint, from a standpoint of actually making your name bigger and having an opportunity to prove who you are going to the perfect team. because you're most likely going to finally get some postseason action that equates to a win, and people get to see you on the big stage. Now, if you make a play, they're not going to say Jaylen Phillips with the sack. Or Jaylen Phillips with the disruption or the hurry that caused the pick or caused the third down failure. They're going to say recently acquired, traded for Jaylen Phillips, which was a huge move for the Eagles. You see, they're going to add verbiage to it, and people are going to be like, oh, okay. They're going to even know you more, which is going to increase your value and increase your stock as long as you ball, by the way. But I believe you will, especially in that system with dogs all around you. Now you get to roam free. Now you get to operate in the system that I feel you're probably going to be best in. And your career might take off just from this mid-season trade. You possibly going to Philly, you possibly have an opportunity to make about $10 million more per season. Because right now, if you hit the open market, somebody's going to say, you know what, Jaylen Phillips, we believe in your upside. We want to, start light. We don't want to do a 5-year deal. We don't want to do a 4-year deal. Truth be told, we want to be a 2, but, people are going to come after you. We'll give you a 3-year, $36 million deal, $12 million a year, even though pass rushers out here making 45. Now, we'll give you $12 million a year because, your injuries, blah, blah, blah. Now you go to Philly and you go far in the playoffs, you get that experience, and don't let you contribute and actually make plays and people see who you are. Oh, you could be a $25 million a year guy. Now, if you go insane, you might can get over 30. In that quick. Just because the move is being made right now, if you take care of business in Philly, especially if they win a Super Bowl, and you're an unrestricted free agent, you just got a massive potential raise. So Jaylen Phillips should be excited about this potential. And Fangio obviously is going to utilize him big time. Big time. Huge move for the Philadelphia Eagles, but let's not dismiss the fact that the Miami Dolphins benefit from this greatly, because now this is signifying the start of compiling our arsenal of draft picks on so that we can strategize how do we want to move forward. And I love it. This is what it's about. All right, this whole project failed, but now it's time to strategize. And now we're starting to get assets and trade players to strategize. Jaylen Phillips is out of there, and it's a great move by the Miami Dolphins. Who's next? That's what it's about. Who's next? Bradley Chubb for a 6th? Bradley Chubb for a 5th or a 6th? He's older. He's not as young as Phillip. He's not going to be worth more. Even if you pay a portion of Chubb's salary, which ain't much because he restructured. Can you get a 6th for him? You're insanely genius if you get a 5th somehow. I don't know how that's going to work, but can you get a 5th or a 6th for Chubb, and I think a 6th? And they're not going to trade Chop Robinson. He's young. But and here's why you can't trade Chop Robinson, because we don't know if we're going to keep the coach. We don't know what the coach wants to do on offense or defense, how they want to work that. We don't know. That's like an unknown. He might be a very valuable piece for what we want to do in the future, or he may not fit at all for whatever we want to do in the future. Are we keeping Weaver? Are we moving on for Weaver? All of that matters. Until those are answered, and you won't really have a great answer until you get your new general manager to determine if McDaniels is even the guy. So these are players that probably won't get traded because it's, yeah. And here's my thing. I know some people will say, well, Chop is still young. You're not going to trade him anyway. Well, excuse me. Let's be clear. if I was running this organization, Chopper's gone. I'm trying to get me a second round pick, maybe a third. I'm trying to get something in that area too, because he's even younger and he showed some promise early on. I'm trying to get me a late second, early third, a bad team third, a good team second. I'm trying to do something like that. Let me explain why. First of all, philosophically, I'm trying to have just a straight up team. And people are like, okay, what do you mean by that? I'm just trying to straight up. What's like? Let's be honest. This is the problem with the Miami Dolphins now. This has always been the problem. We're too small, too weak, and lack dogs. I am not getting anybody else that's undersized at their position. I'm not getting anybody else that's not a dog. I'm not getting anybody else that ain't barking at all times. And Chop is undersized. Chop is just he out there playing and doing the best he can. I'm not having anybody that's just a good player on this roster anymore. I'm going for greatness every chance I get. And you know what? Chop is good. But I'm sorry. That's like the floor of what I'm looking for going forward. I'm looking for mean, nasty, gritty. I'm like every aspect, not just he got a fast release off the line. No. I need somebody who can actually push a left tackle backwards on a consistent basis. I need somebody who has a bull rush in their arsenal that doesn't have to. See, we keep getting limited players because of one skill set that might be great. Instead of going after the guy who has all like Chop speed off the edge is like a 10 out of 10. I love his get up. It's really like a 9 out of 10, but this is say 10 out of 10 for sake of argument. But he got to win with speed too often. We out here, can he set the edge? Oh, I just did it. Yeah, but can you do it all day, every day against every way? No, you can't. No, you can't. Nope, stop. So as we love him as a young player and he's going to develop and he could be a weapon, I'm sorry. My standard moving forward, everything superior. You ain't going to get bullied. You're going to do the bullying. You're going to win with speed. You're going to win with power. You're going to win with speed and power, add a little finesse. I need that package. Not these scat guys, situational guys. Okay, you're a third down guy. You're a first and second. Man, give me somebody who can be on the field, period, no matter what the circumstance is. So you can have your elite speed rusher that's a 10 out of 10 in speed, but a 5 out of 10 in power. When I'm going to take that 8 speed and 8 power. That's what I want. I want the 8 speed out of 10 and 8 power out of 10 instead of that 10 out of 10 speed and that 5 out of 10 power. Vice versa. That's all I'm looking for. You ain't got to be a 10 out of 10 on both, but give me 7 or 8 on both. That's what I'm taking. So it ain't a situational when you can be on the field and when you can't be on the field. No more undersized crap. I want my wide receiver 6 foot plus. I want my maybe slot receiver sub 6 foot. That's what I want. I even want my H-Chain could go to because I want my running back 6 foot that with power. All this speed and finesse only gets you so far. Because when you get in the big games against the big teams that are bullies themselves, all that little speed and finesse don't go nowhere. Yeah, you might break an occasional one here and there, but you ain't got that long sustainability to go take everything you want constantly in a game, not in no playoffs. I'm sorry, we love A-Chain, but A-Chain ain't bullying nobody in January. They shutting that down. And I know we fall in love with our players. We fall so in love with our players. Oh, man, he's just a great talent. And he's speed. You know what? I'll keep A-Chain, but that ain't my primary to me. Maybe in regular season you cooking, but I'm pushing on that power in the playoffs and with a change up. See, guys like A-Chain, they're a weapon, like a it's the sprinkle on the cake, man. But we need cake. It's the icing and the sprinkle on the cake. But where's we need the cake. Like we fall so in love with the sprinkles and the confetti all the time, but we don't even have the base to put it on. But it's putting up some numbers, man. Somebody said this recently, man. This team and this offense, especially with Tua, is the perfect example of when numbers lie. We got so enamored at the numbers. Numbers lie. Numbers lie. And I can't wait to do that stream later because there's so many posts that I saw from different people that I gotta address. I like so many posts over the last 3 days that people have been putting out, and I've just been responding to them to keep them in my timeline so I can address them on a live show, which I'm gonna do this morning. I'm gonna do a nice live show this morning. This is just a breaking news segment, which we're gonna be done in a few minutes. But I'm maybe even right after this, I'm gonna crack open that live show. We'll see, because I might save it to like closer to noon or something. Maybe let this one breathe so people can get the news. But yeah, no, Flick Short real quick with the donation on the channel said there are some reports that Tua could be benched on the bye week, so we can see what Ewers brings. That's what I see. We're gonna talk about all of that in the main show today. It's a lot of stuff we got to go over. I mean, it's so much that has to be addressed. So much that has to be addressed. It's so funny, though. Things that we've been preaching, at least on this channel, for almost 6 years, like it's in unison. Everybody sees it now. Everybody sees it now. But what's important that I want y'all to pay attention to, and I ain't trying to boost myself up, but I have to prop myself real quick. I have to, because it's inevitable. Why it took them so long to see it? Why is it all coming straight down to exactly what's been said over here? Why is it coming exactly down to what has been told to y'all so many times on this channel? Why did it take them so long to see what I've been saying for so long? And remember the vitriol and the hate and the disgust and the attacks that we received for it. But now they see the light 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years later. Now everybody can get, no, not everybody. Now 85% of the people can see the light. Please, somebody gotta answer this question. All these experts, all these creators, all these people out here, especially the ones that spoke out boldly to tell you how wrong I am. Don't listen to that clown. He ain't even a real Dolphins fan, according to them. Now, here we are in the back end. Time is told. Got something in my hair, a little lit. Now we're on the back end. Time is told. Like, how could you have been so wrong so long? And we talking about football. Y'all supposed to know ball. Y'all supposed to be the experts. TD don't know nothing. But 90% of everything that I said ended up coming to be exactly how it was. And it's a rhetorical question, me asking how could they be so wrong? I'm going to tell y'all why everybody was so wrong. It's the same reason I used to be wrong. Because you operate out of feelings instead of facts and data. You operate out of feelings and facts instead of data. And then when a conversation or a debate gets heated enough, You no longer operate out of feelings. You operate out of pride. Even when signs show you're wrong, it's the pride. People out here operating in pride. Double, triple down and making excuses why it's everything else. Operating in pride. That's why they were so wrong. I took feelings out of this right after Rosen. I told y'all I took feelings out of all of this at the Tannehill and then got bamboozled again in the Rosen. Right there, that was the last straw for me. No more feelings. Let me just go with the facts, what data tell me, and I hated every bit of my analysis because it was always negative towards my team. But what was the outcome? Negative. What was the outcome? So I don't break this down just to intentionally pick on nobody or have a vendetta and dislike towards anyone. I'm just breaking down the facts of the Miami Dolphins while we've sucked forever. While we've sucked for the longest time. That's it. That's it. People really think I hate Tua. I don't hate Tua. But how would you like me to articulate that he good enough not to be good enough? There ain't no way you can articulate that a guy who fought his whole life to get to a certain point ain't good enough to be there. He made it. He should be happy, but he ain't good enough to stay there. You're one of the failures. And by the way, they can try all they want, but Tua Tagovailoa is a bust. He's a bust. He ain't a bust. I mean, he's a bust. You're the 5th overall pick. You're supposed to be a franchise quarterback doing 10 plus years in the organization, leading them to playoff victories. If you're not doing that, you're a bust. People have dumbed it down so much that they think that 5th overall picks, as long as you make the playoffs, you ain't a bust. Man, y'all expectations have been dumbed down. Straight dumbed down. And whenever he goes to his new team, hopefully he can climb himself out of being a bust and revive his career. But right now, the number 5 overall pick, I believe 2019, if I got my years right, is a bust. As a matter of fact, the worst quarterback in that draft class may be. Don't hate this guy. But he is who he is. He is who, yeah. For real, Mark. See, this is the conversation they'll never have. They'll never have that conversation. They'll never have that conversation. They'll never have it. He's not a bust. He's a viable quarterback in the league. According to where you were drafted, what was expected? If you draft a player in the top 5 that's a quarterback, what are your expectations for that player long term? What does he have to accomplish for you to say it was a success? That's how you determine what's a bust. If I draft you in the 6th round, there are certain expectations. If I draft you in the 6th round, I expect for you to at least, at a minimum, be on the practice squad. I ain't going to call you a bust. You're a 6th rounder. If you're drafted in the 3rd round, 4th round, at a minimum, I at least expect you to be a really good backup. If you drafted in the 1st or the 2nd round, at a minimum, I expect for you to start or you're a bust. But if you drafted in that top 10, you're supposed to be altering franchises, changing the franchise for the better. The way this guy plays, he carries. That's a franchise-altering player. That ain't what we got. Bust. They don't want to have that conversation, though. What a bust is. Again, if you're a third-round pick and you're not even on a practice squad, you a bust. There were high expectations for you as a third-round pick. You haven't even made a practice squad, bust. Or even if you're on the practice squad, bust. So there's levels to this, but nobody want to have that conversation. Nobody want to have that conversation. We'll alter the definitions or change the definitions to try to fit. Oh, well, not quite a bust, you know. He led the league in pass to the y'all gonna keep on throwing out them empty stats. Empty stats. Empty stats. And by the way, y'all keep diminishing what a passer rating is even worse than it already is by trying to use that. We gotta have a really good stream later today. I want to do it now, but I'm gonna let this breathe for a little bit. And I'm gonna fire it up probably around 11 or noon or something like that. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'll pick the best time. But Jaylen Phillips is gone. It's a wrap. TD, did you like the trade? You got to go back to the beginning of the stream, but I love the trade. I love the trade. It's perfect. This is perfect. Get a third instead of a fourth by paying a little bit of the salary. I loved it. Now, who's next? Put it in the chat. Who's next? Who's the next guy that's getting traded? Bradley Chubb, possible. But I'm thinking maybe today or tomorrow, some big offer comes in for Waddle. Will we take it? I don't know, but somebody's going to put something out there that's nice, and we really got to consider. We'll see. Shout out to Crazy Dolphin blessing the channel. Said good morning, TD and our fans. Good morning to you. Salute to you, man. Appreciate the love and support to the channel. And thank everybody who's showed love via Cash App as well. Greatly appreciated. No, we have to keep some people. LOL. Waddle next. Keep some people for what purpose? Remember, right now, you got to think about what's the purpose of keeping some people? What does that mean? What does that mean? You got a lot of players that you need to move because you're not keeping them next year, and you know the season is over this year. Minka Fitzpatrick need to be moved if you can. Bradley Chubb need to be moved if you can. I get the debate on A-Chain and Waddle. I get the situation there. So they don't need to be moved, but for the right price, they could be. But there's some people on this roster that needs to be moved. Brooks can go help somebody out. He's played quite well this season. I'll be trading Brooks right now for a late round pick. Nice little addition on another team. There are guys that can be moved right now. Don't mess up that number 1 overall pick. That can still be got. I don't want to hear all that, oh, no, we trying to win. See, you know what? This rebuild was so bad that everything is a conundrum. We all know we in tank mode now, but McDaniel got to try to win games so that he can keep his job. We playing against how do we set everything up to play against ourselves? Easy, because they were operating in pride. Otherwise, you don't get to this point. You don't get to this point. Everything that we're dealing with now is conflict. Let's be honest, we ain't doing nothing this year, and it ain't many players on this roster to actually evaluate for the future. So let's tank. Yeah, but we got a coach that the owner love, and maybe, he can be kept if he wins some more. Pride put us in this position. They're going to strip the roster. And let me tell you something. Now, I'll hit it in the next stream because I got to talk about Mike McDaniel. I'll briefly tell y'all now, I'm not opposed to letting him earn his ability to stay with Miami. I'm really not. I'm not opposed to that. You need to go out there and win games. Right now, you are 2-6 or 7. One of the two. 2-7? Right now, you're 2-7. You have 8 games left. Real talk. The only way he keeps his job, if I'm in that office, if I'm Ross or the new general manager, you need to go 7-1. You need to go 7-1 at a minimum. I'll consider it at 6-2. You need to go 7-1 the rest of the way, and you can keep your job. If you go 6-2, we'll think it over. Why? Why would I just be so strict about it? Because you did the same thing to Flores and he won games. You did the same thing to Flores and he won games at the back end. He got that stripped down roster to like 6-7 straight wins or something like that. And if you can't at least do that, then you ain't the coach. And let me tell y'all why. Because everybody tried to throw this in our face. Flores was a terrible coach. McDaniel at least got us to the playoffs. McDaniels got us to the playoffs one year with less wins than Flores did. Because the AFC was that weak that year. It was that weak that year. And y'all always compare McDaniel's a better coach. This team didn't do any better with 10 times more talent. Like, does people get that? 10 times greater talent. TD, who replaced Bobby Greer as advisor? He passed. I'm not sure. I didn't really look into it. Sad to see him go. Tua's fault though. But yeah, that's what I would do. McDaniel, you need to go 9-8. You need to go 9-8. 8-9, I'll think about it. Because that's 2 losing seasons in a row for you if you go 8-9. Let's not dismiss that. Anywho, I'm going to get back with y'all in a couple hours or so. Jaylen Phillips is gone, no longer a Miami Dolphin. Wow. It's crazy, right? 4 years later, he's gone. Just like that. Everything we did in the last 6 years was a waste of time. Everything we did in the last six years was a waste of time. The only messed up part about it all is that too many people didn't see it ahead of time. Too many people didn't see it ahead of time. It's literally like 80% of people didn't see it. They just thought we were on our way to, oh my gosh. And it made those 20% look like clueless idiots, right? That ended up being right. And I said this 3 years ago. I said the most frustrating part of it all is whenever you know you're right, but you're just looking at everybody else like, man, they don't get it. Or maybe I'm wrong. It make you doubt yourself, right? So many people are seeing it opposite. Maybe I am tripping, but this is what my brain gives me. And I'm not a go along, get along guy. I don't just go along with the masses to be liked. I don't go along with the masses to, avoid scrutiny. I just say what my brain gives me. It's that simple. So now we know some people are just clueless when it comes to the game of football. Here we are, hoarding assets for the future. The only thing I hope is that this is an exciting future. That's the only thing I hope. That third round pick turns into a linebacker that we love for years to come. I don't know. But that's the hope. That's what see, these are down times, but it's also exciting times. See, and this is what I be talking about right here. Let me put this up. The Wayne D experience said, TD, stop. You love Ryan Tannehill and Rosen. Shaking my head. Once again, bro, I love you, bro. It's just a comprehension thing, okay? It's a come in a room, pay attention to everything that's being said. And if you're not clear on something, ask the question instead of just straight attack. TD, stop. You love Ryan Tannehill and Rosen. Shaking my head. Basically, you're insinuating, what are you talking about? You were so wrong on Ryan Tannehill and Rosen. So how are you going to talk about other people not seeing something? Well, let's break down why. Once again, Wayne D, have I not admittedly said I was living in my emotion for the team, in my delusion, thinking Tannehill was it, thinking Rosen was it? I stopped operating off of how I feel and start going with the facts. And at that moment, I start being right about 95% of everything. So you pointing out me being wrong about Ryan Tannehill and Rosen further proves my point that when I was operating with emotion, I kept being wrong. And all these people who said that this was the right way with this quarterback, this coach, and everything else were operating out of emotion. And we saw it every single day. All the glazing for Tua, all the false facts and true lies, all the deception, all of the capping for him, all the love fest for a guy that wasn't good enough to be good enough. And the sad thing is you really didn't see it for so long because you were operating out of your emotion. It's that simple. So I'm not going to stop because I love Ryan Tannehill and Rosen. I'm going to show people an example of somebody who used to operate out of their emotion and kept being wrong. And now that I operate out of facts instead of feelings and common sense, which ain't common at all, now I'm more right, way more right than I'm wrong. So thank you for making my point, but I can't stop. Just FYI, the Wayne D experience. We have had better years under Tua, which is a fact, than the guys. So what? I'm tired of y'all saying Tua is the best thing we've had since Marino. So what? That ain't saying nothing. If Marino is a 10 out of 10 and I keep getting 2 out of 10s and Tua comes along and becomes the 5 out of 10, so what? It still ain't the 8, 9, or 10 that I need. I don't care about the better years. What better years did we have under Tua? What better years? Same poop, different restroom every year under him. Beat all the terrible teams, lose to the good ones. Play great against the terrible teams, look like god awful against 90% of the good ones. What better years? Your emotions felt better because you believed in somebody and he gave you more good than bad, in the sense of we played more bad than good. You tend to play more bad teams than good teams every year, especially when you don't win the division. So he gave you that dopamine, whatever it is that you needed inside to make you feel good and better than the past. Not realizing the biggest heist of it all, it still wasn't good enough. And that's the problem. Dolphin fans have gotten lulled into accepting mediocrity because we've lived under it for so long. We have been below average for so long that when we get average or above average, we covet it like it's elite. That's the moral to it all, to be quite honest with you. We have been bad so long that if we get above to good play, we covet it like it's elite. We can't determine the difference between elite and good. So we're like, I ain't ever letting this good go. I ain't never letting you go. I know, man. No, I know what bad look like. Good is good enough. I ain't never letting you go. Matter of fact, just like one of those high school or college students that's like, ooh, a guy, I like her, but you know what? I'm not even gonna approach her or really be attracted to her because she's way out of my league. Elite, yeah. You like you've been so dumbed down you don't even pay attention because it's out of my league. So some of us as fans are so insecure about the team that we're just like, once again, approaching somebody you like. Well, we're a 5 and they're a 8. Oh my gosh. I'm not even going to waste my time. We're a 5 and they're a 7. Oh my gosh, a 7 likes me? A 7 likes me? Oh my gosh, I'll never let that 7 go. That's what you're in right now. That's what you're in right now. I'll never let that go. Oh my gosh. It ain't a 10. It ain't a 9. It ain't an 8. What you need. I hear cuffing 6s, 5s, and 6s. Like it's never mind. Hopefully you understand the analogy. Stop. You got to stop that mess. You want to win the game, then pursue what it takes to win the game. Pursue what it takes to win the game. That's what it's about. You want a great quarterback? Go look for one. Man, did y'all see this quarterback play in the league yesterday? Did you see these guys, man? And guess what? Everybody threw almost everybody threw a bad pick. But did you see the play regardless of the turnover? Were y'all watching the NFL yesterday? Are y'all paying attention to the quarterback play that's happening on the field? Are you paying attention to these guys running for their life and making plays happen? escaping pressure, brushing tackles off, running the football at the position. Are y'all watching what's happening in the NFL right now with these quarterbacks? How can you watch the NFL and not look at the fact that our guy ain't even close to that? He can't do that. He can't do that. He can't do that. Like, how are you watching the game and not realizing that? Said, yep, Allen and Mahomes had me jealous yesterday. That's it. Drake May ain't have you jealous. Herbert ain't had you jealous. I mean, Flacco should have had you jealous out here. Sam Darnold had you jealous out here. I mean, like, are y'all listening to me? Are you watching the quarterback play in the NFL? Oh boy, we should get Tanner McKee from the Eagles as well. Well, that trade is done. That trade is done. Anyway, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what. I'll put you up on the latest as it comes in. But we'll keep breaking it down. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate the love and support always here on the channel. Listen, man, we hit a new threshold, 33,800 subscribers. Like, I think like 5 days ago, I was like, let's hit 33.7. Nah, man, we had 33.8 and, you know, about 60 away from 33.9. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe to TD Phins Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans, where we do not let our feelings get greater than the facts. Now, we win a Super Bowl, we can all go back to being delusional from that point on. But we need one. We're going to take this thing serious. We're going to get out our feelings until we at least get one. Then we can be delusional as we want to be. We can go ahead and be as delusional as we want to be. But until we get that one Super Bowl, we're going to operate out of facts instead of feeling. Common sense instead of how we feel. So what does that mean? That mean on this channel, we're going to criticize some players. Just because you're a Dolphin don't mean that we just blindly don't care about nothing. And that's another thing that I got to call people out on. A lot of people, you prove yourself to be big time hypocrites. What do I mean by that? You can't say nothing about him, but you can say something about everybody that's impacting him? No. You ain't a real fan, always dishing on the players of the team. Oh, but y'all can talk all bad you want about Eichenberg. You can talk all bad you want about Jonah. You can say anything you want about how terrible he is. But you ain't a real fan because you ragging on the quarterback that ain't doing well when he not doing well. No, we're not letting that hypocrisy fly. At all. TD, what time is the next live show from Mr. Relentless? Man, I'm going to try to push around 11 to 11:30-ish before we have Fourth and Forever at 1. That's the goal. But I do want to allow people a chance to watch this as well, because sometimes when you do another stream within a few hours, people don't even get to see this one, don't even know it's there. So that's the goal, but I need to also look at my calendar, check my stuff. So just be on the lookout. I'll be live soon enough before the huddle. That's the goal. So I'll make some phone calls now, do some of the stuff I need to do. With Roundtable Sports and everything, the business, and we'll go from there. But yeah, so I will be live because there's a lot I need to talk about. There's a lot of stuff I need to talk about. Let me see if I can give y'all a few real quick. Really, everything on my Twitter timeline. There's so many things I want to address, so I retweeted it with caption just so I can save it and know that I want to talk about it. Let me go to it real quick and see if I can give you some of those. Let me see. Okay. We're going to do it, and I might even break these down in the streams. Like, we're going to do a segment on Tua's future, all the options, what it looks like. We're going to do one on Stephen Ross implying on keeping McDaniel. Kind of forcing, is that forcing the new a coach on the new general manager? We're going to go over well, I ain't gonna reveal that one yet. It's a lot. We'll find them. We'll go over all of them. Let me see here. I can't. It's not time to do the draft one. Yeah. So we got something to go over. I just have to go through my full timeline and find them all, but I will. All right. All right, y'all. TD, what O-linemen are you guys dealing? None. I don't think we. Now you want Austin. I think you're IR. So none. That's another guy who probably got to go. Austin Jackson coming up soon. Now you can trade Brewer. I trade our center Brewer if he has some value to where somebody wants to come get him, because he does. You know, but again, yeah, that would be a real take there, boy. Like, you get rid of the center and just put somebody in for the rest of the year. We also got to talk about this notion of what if Tua wants out? What if Tua wants to be traded? He wants out. We definitely got to talk about that. We got to talk about this quote unquote fade route to A-chain in the end zone, what people are saying about it. We got to talk about that exchange on the sideline between the coach and that one was Ollie Gordon, right? If I'm not mistaken. I think so. It's a lot. It's a lot that we want to discuss. Okay. Jonah, we got to do one on that. The intentional grounding situation, break that down. Think we need to discuss certain aspects of that. And this notion of trusting receivers. We got to talk about that too. That's it. That's it for now. But it's a lot of things I want to say about these things. Anyway, let me get up out of here for now, and I'll catch up with y'all later. I love y'all. Thank y'all, and stay blessed. Y'all have a productive day. I'll see you soon. Peace. I'm out.